Hey everybody, how you doing? Steve here. And instead of sitting in front of my computer, I thought I'd do a video on a different part of the house. So I think here would be a good place. This is upstairs. I got my books. It's kind of a neat place to just get away. Come up here a few times to think or to get away and just kind of be in a different part of the house and have a different perspective and look out the window and you can see it on the second floor. And it's always interesting how things are a bit different when your vantage point is outside of the norm. I want to do a little video to talk about the trip we took. We took a trip to the Grand Canyon. Actually, we went to go visit family, and it was on the way. And that place was amazing. So, you know, my wife's Korean, and she had never seen it, and it was the first time for her, and first time for my daughter, and I hadn't seen it since I was really little, so little I couldn't even remember it. So it was just amazing at how big it was. I remember you always see pictures, and it was kind of like, man, it just looks so fake. I wish I could get better pictures. And when we got there, it just doesn't look right because it's so huge. It's enormous, and it stretches across from all the way to your left and all the way to the right, and it just keeps going and going. It was, I mean, if you've never seen it, there's no way you can put it into perspective just from looking at pictures. It just doesn't work. And so we're walking along the rim, the path, and they got some awesome pictures and stuff, people from all over the world, and so that was kind of neat. And we're walking around this little pathway, and it goes out along the rim, and there's a fence portion where it kind of juts out, and you can really get a good look of all the stuff. I'm not talking about the skywalk, but at this one point you can go out, and they got a safety fence to keep everybody in, and just a little bit past that fence there's a drop off, and then there's this outcropping of rocks that pops up, and it's got like a platform. And when you look at it, there's all kinds of money on it. And people, what they'll do is they'll sit back by the rail, and they'll throw their nickels or dimes or quarters or whatever, and try to make it land on that outcropping of rock. Kind of like a wishing well, or wishing stone, I guess you could say. And we're taking our pictures and looking like tourists like everybody else. This tour guide comes up, and he brings this group, and he talks about an actual account that happened on that outcropping of rock. And that's what this video is going to be about. You see, people, I guess, for a long time had been throwing money out on that outcropping of rock. And there was this bum or a homeless guy, or maybe he wasn't homeless, I don't know, but he was dressed really shabby, and he used to go out there on a pretty regular basis, and he'd hop the little safety rail, and then he'd leap onto that outcropping of rock, and he would start collecting and pocketing all the change that was there. I guess it had gone on for quite a while, and like I said, he was a regular in doing that. And one time he had jumped the fence, and he leaped out onto the outcropping of rock, and he's picking up the change, and some lady said, "Hey, be careful." And the guy stopped, and I guess he gave kind of a smirk look, he stood up and he started doing a little jig, a little dance on that outcropping of rock. Even though that when you look down, I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of feet. And it's pretty dangerous. Well, people are starting to warn him, and other people are starting to encourage him, and so he actually takes pride in dancing and showing off. And then he tripped on a rock, and he fell to his death. And I'm wondering how many of us Christians do the same thing. How many of us take that leap of faith and we're on the rock, but we haven't surrendered all, so that little piece of rock that we're standing on is real small. I mean, Jesus Christ is supposed to be our cornerstone. And we're supposed to trust and rely on him in everything. But if we only give him a little bit of ground, he's not going to force his way. And I think a lot of Christians do that. They don't surrender all. They put limits on God, and they put limits on their life, and they say, God, okay, you're going to have this piece right here, this little piece, but you can't have all the rest. But I'm just secure in knowing that in this spot, I have solid footing. And then what they don't realize is that as they're reveling and taking pride in their spirituality and their foundation and their rock that they're on, they forget that all around them, what they didn't surrender is a dangerous drop-off. What are you surrendering? If your Christianity is just on Sunday morning and Wednesday night, and maybe just on youth group, and that you're not going to God and asking him, Lord, what do you want me to do? Like Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct all your paths. But what I see is a lot of Christians, they're directing their paths. They're telling God, I'm only going to give up this little portion of my life. Everything else is mine. They don't realize that it's a big drop-off. And that people that when they think they know everything and that they've got a real good relationship with God, all of a sudden out of the blue, they trip and they fall. So it's something to think about. The next time you go to the Grand Canyon, and you see pictures. By the way, the Grand Canyon isn't just a neat thing that God carved out and for us to enjoy. It's the result of the flood. It's the result of man's sin and God judging man for being wicked.